Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the NECA TMNT The Last Ronin Flashback Michelangelo figure. So before we take a look at Michelangelo, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with a set of these more relaxed hands. Up next, he comes with accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with his nunchucks, and these have some very nice sculpt detail to the handles there. They have real chain on them, and that looks very awesome. My main complaint with this figure, though, is he can't actually grip these. Not only are they really tiny and he's a bulky figure, but you can actually just put this down through his hand, and it'll just slip all the way through. You can't actually get him holding it like that. It'll just constantly slip through. On this left side, the grip is just a little bit tighter, but if you try to put it where it should be, then it just slips right through. So yeah, I do wish he could grip these just a little bit better. I think it sucks that he really can't hold them. In this right hand especially, it just slips all the way through and he holds it just barely by the chain right there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to try and make this a tighter fit so he can hold them better. You can also store the nunchucks there on the front of his armor right here, and I think that's very good. It's a really snug fit, so they definitely aren't going to slip out. I love that you can actually store them there. Up next, you get this frowning expression head sculpt, and this looks really good. It's got some nice sculpt detail to it. The black lines painted on looks really good. The spots there on his skin painted on look very nice. I do wish they would have been sculpted on, though. On his arms, the spots are actually sculpted and painted, but on his head, they're just painted on. So yeah, it would have been cool if they would have sculpted them as well. And finally, he comes with the angrier teeth showing head sculpt, and this is my favorite head sculpt to leave on the figure. Just like with the previous head sculpt, it looks very nice. The paint and sculpt detail to it looks really awesome. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the rest of the figure. So taking a look at the rest of the figure, I love the sculpt detail on this outfit. It feels kind of tactical for Michelangelo. I just really love the way it looks. The armor has this very nice wash over top of it that brings the details out really well. You get the scratches sculpted down in the armor with some black paint over top of them. It looks really good. You get so much paint detail on this. The washes on this is crazy. You get a dark brown wash over top of the armor right here. You get more of a dark brown wash over top of this sleeve right here. You also get, I think it's actually a black wash down here on the wrapping on his arms. And that looks really good because I believe it's actually cast in a light brown color. But yeah, they added some wash to it as well as painted black in between the wrappings right there. And it looks really nice. They actually did paint the joint right here. It's cast in green and painted half in brown because the wrappings go up to here. Though mine does have some black paint up there. So yeah, I need to see if that can come off because that's pretty distracting. His right arm does go down just about all the way, but the left will stay out like this because of the sculpt of the clothing on this side. This side's bare, so it does go down just about flush to his side. You get some black paint right there in between his muscles. You do get the spots on his skin that are sculpted and painted on, but they aren't painted the greatest. You can see that the spots are supposed to be painted right here, and they're painted over here. They're all painted to the left just a little bit. So yeah, they're not quite centered. You get the hood down here in the back with some black paint as well as a wash to it, and all of these pouches have a wash to them. You can see the light brown color that they're cast in and the wash that's over top of that, and that looks really good. All of the washes on these Last Ronin figures just really make the details pop. It really makes their clothing feel worn and not so clean, and I really love that about them. A nitpick that I have with this figure is the knee pads are a separate piece from the figure, and they're constantly shifting up and down, and that's a bit irritating. While I'm trying to pose the figure around, then the knee pads down like that, that is irritating. And he has some more amazing sculpt detail to the wrappings down here on his legs. The black paint that's in between them looks really good. You get that wash. You even get some black paint around his toenails. So yeah, the paint detail on this is crazy. And you also get that continued paint and sculpt detail even on the bottoms of his feet. You can see this little spot right here that didn't get painted, and that's actually what color that all of the browns on this figure are. They just have that wash over top of them that gives them some really cool variation. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can barely look up at all. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side and move all the way around. You do get a swivel back here at the bandana that moves all the way around. It will hit on his hood right here, so you'll probably have to swivel it like this, depending on how you want to get it flowing. He has shoulders. The left side can move out that far. The right side does move out a little more. He has a swivel at the bicep. He has double jointed elbows that can actually bend all the way in. And this is without even utilizing this back part very much. So they can bend all the way in like that. And this joint is kind of stiff. But yeah, he can bend in all the way. You really don't even need this joint back here. It bends so far in without that. So yeah, I'm really happy with the articulation right there. And even on the left side, it's the same way. It can bend in very nicely, even with the sculpt of his sleeve right here. He has swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down. He has a ball jointed waist that can move back just a little bit. He can actually crunch forward a little bit. You can see that there's some room up there. Actually, I think that's a ball jointed diaphragm. Yeah, I think that's a ball jointed diaphragm. But he can actually crunch forward a decent amount since you do get a bunch of room up there. He can move side to side very nicely and around just a little bit. He has hips that can only move out that far. He can kick forward very slightly. He can't really kick back at all. For the articulation being great up here, the articulation in the hips could have been just a little bit better. He has a nice thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees that can move all the way back. The sculpt of the pants back here makes it so that you can utilize the knee fully, and I think that's very nice. And he has ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to Flashback Raphael and Donatello, and these designs are so cool. I can't commend the artists enough for how awesome these designs are, and they're translated very, very well into plastic by NECA. NECA did a really awesome job at translating these into figure form. Here he is next to the last Ronin version of himself, and you can see how much he's mutated in the years since the flashback is set. Here he is next to the football, and finally here he is next to Karai. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because this is yet another stunning Last Ronin figure from NECA. My biggest complaint with the figure is that the hands can't hold the nunchucks. I don't know if I'm alone in that or all of them are like that. But other than that, I think this figure looks spectacular and has some surprising articulation. The only place that's really hinders is in the hips. I do wish he could kick forward and back just a little bit more, but other than that, the articulation really surprised me with how bulky his clothing is. So yeah, NECA did a really awesome job on this, and I'd recommend picking it up. Now I just need to get Leonardo, and I will have all 4 of the Flashback brothers. I think they will look very awesome together. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.